Daily Broadside day 343. I got up at 2:30 this morning and I went back to bed about 5. And in the interim of being awake, I was studying several things, and one of which was the Lillian Booth Actors Home, which is in Englewood, New Jersey. Englewood, always up to no good. I think I said different Englewood than the West Coast Englewood, but this is a actors home for all. It's basically funded by some actors guild or something like that. And they, when you go to die, this is your assisted living facility that you can go to. And I started perusing the list of people that have been former tenants prior to their death. And the only people that I found that I really recognized were Imogene Coca, who was Aunt Edna in the Vacation series, and I think both of the Huxtable parents, Bill Cosby's parents in the show, who, little known fact, Bill Cosby's dad was only like 10 years older than Bill Cosby during the show, but he looked much older. He was also the voice of Panthro from the Thundercats. But, so they live there, and I just thought to myself, man, that would be so weird. And I wonder if they take in like normal old people clients, Could you imagine going to see your grandparents, and they're living in assisted living, and like Don Amici and Kirsty Alley, is in like the next room. That would just kind of be weird. They're going down getting their exercise with their stroller, and you're like, is that Don Amici? But man, it's all like a bunch of vaudeville people. I don't think like the modern era of actors is going to be staying there much. It's probably on its way down because, they're all worth so much money. They don't need to go to New Jersey to die. And nobody needs to go to New Jersey to die. And I remember as a kid, I've heard the concept and the name lot lizard my whole life. And, and then when I got to be an adult, I realized, man, that's a real thing. Like truckers really call, parking lot prostitutes lot lizards, right? And I thought about it the other day as I was passing like a Love's or a TA or whatever I was passing, a Flying J truck stop. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool and funny if there's parking lots all over the place. Well, is it just because the trucks have houses built into them that they don't do it? Why don't they go to KOA campgrounds? That's an even better, venue to be a prostitute. But wouldn't it be funny if like all parking lots had it? You go into the CVS and they're like, hey, honey, you looking for some sex? And you're like, nah, I'm just here to get some, I'm a little stuffy. I need to get some Sudafed, but thank you. And they're all dressed out like, whores do and everything. I just think that would be kind of funny. And wax museums. Never been to a wax museum. I don't plan on going to no wax museum. I hope that the HVAC unit breaks in all those places and everything melts. In fact, I don't even know what kind of wax that is. It probably doesn't melt. It's got to be some kind of plastic or rubber or something. Surely they're not really making wax. But what is the point of that? Other than like learning the relative height of people. You're like, oh, I didn't know Gavin Rossdale was 6'4". What are you gleaning from walking through a building and just looking at statues of horribly made countenances of people that are mildly famous? That's just that's a weird thing that Americans or anybody, I don't know if they have them in other countries, are really involved with that I don't agree. I think they're kind of silly, and I can't imagine what they charge for that to just walk through. I think they should do it for like just normal people, This is Greg Fritz. Who's Greg Fritz? He owned a feeding seat in Lincoln, Nebraska for 37 years, and he's he's standing there with his overalls and all, and you're like, why am I looking at him? And like, why would you be looking at George H.W. Bush? What does it matter? It's a wax. You're not getting anything out of this. But I digress. Carry on.